Kia ora. And we're here beginning the day at Whitehill, and we're at St. Malais's Catholic Church at Whitehill in the parish of Devonish. And today what we want to do is we want to follow the Catholic families, or the family of the Dohertys, and this church is their gathering place, their place of worship, their place of baptism, and so it's hugely significant in their lives. It's in a rural setting, and it's very close to the Townlands that they lived and worked in. So I just want to say that this is their church. Their father, James, or James, the father of these children, he is reputed to have had in this church a pew. And that pew was in this church, my understanding, for a long, long time. In a certain part of its life, this church, about 1860s, so that's around about the time that these children are born, this church decides it's going to renovate itself. And it has a renovation, and part of the renovation is the old parish priest thinks, what a wonderful idea, and that he puts together this, and there's another one down there, 2 crosses. They're pretty solid, they're pretty strong, and would you believe it, the night before the church is consecrated, some blighter nicks it, both of them, and they haven't got their crosses to put up on the day of the blessing of the new church. And it becomes part of the history of the district and this church that these crosses are never seen again until around about, I think, about the 1880s, about the time the Dohertys are leaving this district. Someone on a ship heading off to Australia gets loose-lipped and says he knows where these crosses are in a local bog. And blow me down, it takes a long time for them to be found, but they are eventually found in the early 1900s in the bog, right where he said, and here they are to this day. So these crosses are a very, very significant part of the history of this church, St. Malais's at Whitehill. Kia ora anō. Here I am hanging over the fence or the gate into what we think, are pretty sure, is 13B. 13B is this piece of land edged by the woods and the forest, and 13B was a paddock that James Doherty, my great-grandfather, paid rent to the Archdales for. So he had two pieces of land in Shanmullagh, which is the district that we're in, and this is one of the pieces. We don't think he lived at this one. We think he lived at 13A, and we'll walk down to 13A. Over here, we'll just let that car go past. Over here is a river, and the river is Ballycassidy, and it flows down and along past these houses into those woods, and in behind those trees is Ballycassidy, the communications post office headquarters. If we pan back and look at that hill there, beautiful hill that it is, over that hill is Tullyavy, where my granddad Bernard was born. So they shifted from here, went over that hill and lived in Tullyavy. And we're going to take our life into our own hands here, folks, and we're going to walk down the lane from 13B to 13A, and we're going to stop at the school down the road here. So they would have walked this many times, probably with a cow or two. This was home to the Doherty children, except my granddad. So as I walk along the road, what we've noted in Ireland at the moment, I bet I can't find any now, are ripe blackberries. So every now and again we've been feeding on blackberries, but look at that, just when you go to want to pick one, there ain't none there. The sense of the road when there isn't traffic is quiet, peaceful, bird life, a lot of bush here. That seems on the old maps to have been here when they were living here. So a lovely environment to be living in, but not such a lovely environment to be starving in, and certainly no environment to be falling in love with a Protestant in. Here's the first wee gap in the hedge into towards Grandad's 13A. So there would have been neighbours here, and they're identified in the valuations, who's paying what rent to the Archdales. The Archdales own it all, and so that's a whole piece of history in itself. There's a vehicle coming. They'd be saying, what are those tourists doing? Filming our streets and roads and lanes. The time at the moment is around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've had quite a bit of drizzle today, so the sky is just clearing and coming into sort of lovely evening with a bit of sunshine. We're having trouble on the road. Oh, never mind. Low battery this. Don't you believe it? Grandad would be better than that. So here is where we filmed yesterday, and this we think is around about 13A. And there's a pad of concrete where they may have lived there. We don't know that, but we're guessing. And these are just a couple of agricultural sheds that we filmed in yesterday. And again, heading towards the school, which is up this road. If you continue past the school on this road, you will get to St Malais's Church in Whitehill, where they all would have walked to Mass. There's some sheep. That's a wee robin calling out. Beautiful. This feels very much like we're walking to Donegal. We're walking somewhere anyway. And here we are at the school of Shanmullagh. This over here used to be the post office of Ballycassidy. And so what happened there was all the mail for the Townlands would have been processed and delivered from that building. And the reason I can tell this story and have any idea about this story is because of the letters that were sent back from New Zealand to the family members who were still living in the townlands around here. So that little building there played an important role in being the infrastructure, the communication centre of the district.